Hey folks, it's the Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. I'm out and about today on this beautiful October autumnal day in the Umbrons of Great Missenden, and I'm on my brand new to me Royal Enfield 650 Interceptor Custom, the Scram Tracker, and just really using the bike for what I got the bike made for, riding around on the back lanes on a Sunday afternoon. Do join me and I'll tell you how I've been getting on with the bike. So overall, I have to say I'm absolutely loving the bike. Thank you very much for all your positive comments that you gave me when I did the reveal video a couple of weeks back. Absolutely love the look of this thing, absolutely nailed it. Beautiful workmanship, great looking motorcycle. But as I've said many times before, no motorcycle is perfect, is it? Now I've had it for a few days and got the chance to ride it around and have a close look at it. There are a few things that I kind of like to change on the bike, some things that are kind of wrong with it. When I check back at the original spec that I gave the custom guys, I see that actually some of them haven't been carried out quite as I'd expected. There are a few bits and pieces about the bike I don't actually like, so that's what this video is going to be about really. What is it on the bike I don't like? What is it that I need to get changed? First thing I don't like about it is the right indicator doesn't work. If I press the right indicator, which is this button here, oops, sorry, this button here, must get used to that, there you go, I'll get absolutely nothing happening. If I press the left one, left indicator's going, it's flashing fine, I can cancel it with the left indicator, all fine. Try and do it with the right one, zip. So that needs sorting out, that's just a programming issue. The odd thing is, when you turn the bike on initially, the right indicator is flashing. So it definitely works, so it's definitely a programming issue, so that's just something that needs to be sorted out with the Moto Gadget wiring. I don't imagine that's going to be a huge problem. The knobbly tyres on here have been absolutely fine. A few of you have asked what the knobbly tyres like in terms of handling, noise, that sort of thing. Absolutely fine, no problems, even on it's a bit damp on the roads today, there has been some rain around. They don't feel at all like they're going to let go. So far, so good. The tyres I've got are the Hyde Now K60s, by the way. And for those of you that asked, is the front tyre on the right way? Yes, it is. The tread patterns on these are quite wild, in that the front tread goes on the opposite way around to the rear tread. But yeah, the tyres have been good. And then the other change that may have affected the handling is, of course, the Tech Bike Park suspension on the rear. And I think, you know, it does feel a little bit better. So quite happy with that. Let's talk about the exhaust that I've had fitted on here. Oh, hello, got a bit of a diversion here. Where's this going to send me? We'll find out. Can't indicate right, unfortunately. Let's do the old hand signals. Round we go. Yeah, the exhaust I've got on here is from BAK, B-A-A-K, French manufacturer. Now I had intended to keep the Tech Bike Parts exhaust that I had on here fitted because I thought they sounded absolutely lovely. So I was a little bit worried that these BAK ones were going to be far too loud, but actually they're not obnoxiously loud and they've got quite a reasonable note to them. If I'm honest, I think I prefer the sound of the Tech Bike Parts ones, but I can live with these. Let me show you what they look like off the bike. Okay, so a few things that I'm not so keen on the bike that I may need to change or do something about, I'm not sure. First off, which I'm probably not going to change, these BAK exhausts, just to show you what they look like, they are blacked out, which looks nice, and there's two of them, so it's nice and symmetrical, which I like. It would have been nicer, I think, if they'd been a bit longer. Unfortunately, because the rear bracket where the rear passenger foot pegs would have been is gone, there's nowhere to now mount an exhaust. I mean, originally I wanted to keep the Tech Bike Parks exhaust on here. I just think that looked better and indeed sounded better, but I've had to go with these, which is a bit of a shame, because although they look and sound okay, these exhausts alone cost, would you believe, over £1,000, and that's a cost I could have done without. So a little bit disappointed with that. I'm going to live with it, but that's just something that you know, to be aware of if you're thinking about doing this sort of thing. Another thing I've been a bit disappointed with is the Tech Bike Parts indicators that have been fitted on here. Again, these aren't what I selected. They've been put on here and they are, well, I just think they look a bit cheap and nasty, considering the rest of the bike is such a quality build. They've already, as you can see, gone quite loose on here, which isn't good. Both sides on the back here. I mean, sure, that's just a tightening up issue, I know, but just a bit naff. The ones on the front, those have stayed nice and tight, but again, I just don't think they're quite in keeping with the quality of the overall build of the bike. Something a number of people mentioned in the comments to that reveal vid was the TMF logo I've got on here, and people have said they think that's too big. I agree. That's not something I asked for, actually. I wanted TMF stitched on the seat in the back, just in the letters, which I didn't get. So I need to have a chat with the guys up at the bike den to see if I can get that done. But I'm not too sure about this. I think it looks, I don't know, I'm not sure if it looks all right or whether it looks tacky. So I'm still kind of wondering whether I should do something about the TMF logo on the side panels. Not something that I would have chosen. Now it's there, don't know if I like it or not. Next up, back end of the bike. To my eyes, it looks a little bit too blunt. I wanted a little mudguard on here, something similar to how they've done on the Speed Twin. I think it would have made the back look just a bit more finished off. Now, it might be that there'll be an issue with the light, I don't know. While we're on that subject, I'm not too sure about this light either. I was hoping for something a little bit smaller, but anyway, there's obviously been a bit of a mismatch of expectation against reality there. I'm going to ask the guys up at the bike den if we can actually get a little mudguard faxed up to go on there. I just think it would finish the back end off better. While we're down here as well and talking about that back end, the number plate, I love the reg, but this number plate, I'm not sure about it being side mounted here. I'm not sure I like the look of that. I would like the number plate on the back here, underneath, or you know, the mudguard. Again, a bit like I've got on my Speed Twin. I think the back end of the Speed Twin looks perfect, and I like to try and replicate that on this if I can. Another little change that I'd quite like to do that's easy to do, and I might just do myself, which I did previously when this was in its old Baker Express paint scheme, was just black out this this seam on here, which I did ask whether it could be painted out, and we decided we'd have a look at it and see how it looked once it was done, to see if it just sort of disappeared anyway. But I think that seam is still a bit too unsightly for me, so I'm going to get some of my black tape and just put that round there to try and hide that seam, so the sort of tank blends a bit more into the frame. I think that would be very easy to do and just make the thing look a bit better. Okay, one last thing that I hadn't thought about before that somebody mentioned who saw the reveal video, and that's the brake master cylinder up here. They said that this thing looked unsightly, and I don't disagree actually. It's not the most good looking one on there. So I might see if there's some sort of brake master cylinder that we can put on there that just neatens up the handlebar a little bit there, because they've done a great job on making these handlebars nice and neat, hiding the cables and so on. That is a little bit of an eyesore. I think I might see if I can do something about that as well, if it's not too expensive. Okay, so back on the bike. While I'm on my list of things that I'm not too keen on about the bike, things I need to get changed, what else don't I like? Well, something that annoys me about bikes sometimes, the bikes I review, when they've got dodgy mirrors, and this bike definitely has dodgy mirrors, I'm afraid to say. The bar end mirrors on here look nice, but they are completely non-functional. Look at this one on the right, it waggles around, it moves about like you wouldn't believe. It's like it's on a rubber mount. I don't know what's going on there. It's basically useless. I'm hoping you can see that waggling around. The one on this side, fun enough, is a bit more stable. So I do like the looks of them, but they're not quite working. So I either need to change them out for some other mirrors, or do away with the mirrors entirely and just get some bar ends. It would make it look neater. But really, I'd like to keep at least one mirror, and it would be the one on the right, and that's the one that's causing me most grief. So that's annoying. So there we have it. There are some things that I don't like about my custom Interceptor, my Scram Track. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the look of the bike. The guys have done an excellent job. The workmanship on it is beautiful, the paintwork is great, the overall look I love, the way it rides is good, it sounds okay. Just a few little tweaks I've got to make, so I'm going to have a chat with the guys, see what we can do about that. And obviously I shall keep you updated on how things go. Now, one of the other questions that came up a lot in that reveal video, and I sort of expected it would, was how much did the bike cost me to get customised? And I'm more than happy to tell you about that, but I'm going to make that the subject of another video. What I'm going to do is go through all the parts on the bike that I've changed, itemised, tell you how much they cost me and what the overall cost of the custom job was. And what I will say, I was very surprised, and not in a good way, about how much it cost to get this done. I do love the end result, but it has been an expensive exercise. Anyway, more on that in the next video. Okay, hope you've enjoyed that. Looking forward to reading your comments once again below, and I'll speak to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Mist and Flyer. Cheerio.